Okay, I'm here at my friend Mark's house today. I think he's in the house. I haven't seen him. Maybe he's taking a nap. I'm not sure. And I'm set up here at about, I think it's 125 yards or so. I'm going to shoot today with the Thompson Center Contender and 30 Herrett. It's a Super 14 barrel. And it's got the, I've had this on a live stream before. It's got the loop-holed M8 4-power extended eye relief pistol scope on it. This is, it's actually my dad's. And have it out here today with some 30 Herrett 125 Hornady PSP. We're going to start out with Reloder 7, 24 grains. It's a Remington 9.5 primer. And this first batch is, this is in some Federal 32 Win Special brass that's been converted to 30 Herrett. I typically use Pacific dies. I have both RCBS and Pacifics, but I typically use the Pacifics, the ones that were marketed by Thompson Center. I got a few different things to try today, a few different bullets, mostly with Reloder 7, and then some heavier bullets with IMR 4198. I don't know how much I'll get through. This is going to be a slow-paced video today, so if you're into the fast action kind of thing, it may not be your cup of tea. I'm going to do some chronograph testing and see if I can get some decent groups down there at about 125 yards with this Contender. The target that I put up, the bullseye is quite small. It's only, maybe a 3-inch diameter bullseye. In hindsight, back here looking at it, I think it's a little bit small. I should have put up something a little larger, but I'm going to give it a try. Got the target camera here. I'm hoping that it'll work okay. I've had problems with it before, but maybe it'll work. Let's see, I just hit start, but the timer isn't clicking up, so I don't know if that's good or bad. Record. Okay, there we go. Live video mode. Click show shot button to see your shot. I haven't quite figured out how this works, recording versus showing the shots. It's always a learning experience. This is a vintage bullseye target camera. The software isn't exactly the most intuitive thing in the world, so I do have it recording. I'll give it a try and see what happens. Like I said, we're about 125 yards, I think. Probably after the shooting starts, it'll probably wake Mark up from his nap, and he'll probably come out and tell us how far it really is from where we're set up. I think from a spot where we normally set over there, it's about 150. I got the chronograph about 15 feet in front of me. I don't know if the light is going to allow us to get a good chrono read or not. We'll see what happens. We'll go ahead and start out with the 125 grain PSP bullet, 24 grains of Reloder 7. The chronograph group has been started. The ergonomics of this is always challenging for me to get this set up in a way that I think is going to work right. We'll see what happens. I think I'm over the chronograph pretty good. Guess as long as I don't shoot it, I'll be happy. Come down a little bit here. I think I made that target just a little bit too small. This is going to be challenging to hold. Do the best I can. Still need to come up a little bit. Alright, I think I can make that work. Okay, let's see what happens. Any bets on how many shots it takes to wake Mark up from his nap? This thing's pretty loud. Okay, I see the shot. on the camera, and it is a fair amount high. Let's hit the show shots and see what happens. Yeah, I think in live, it says click show shot button to see your shot, but you click it and nothing happens. I think when you're in the live mode, recording, it doesn't do anything when you do that. But we'll go ahead and shoot another and see if it goes up there at the top with that target. That's at about 11 o'clock, and it's outside the scoring rings, but it's still on the white portion of the target. The chrono is picking up the speed, so I don't need to write it down. 1,908. I've been sizing just the neck of these cases with a bushing. I would have to do some research to tell you what size the bushing is, but I've tried a few different things, and I came up with a die setup where I can use a 30 caliber appropriate bushing from one of my Reading Type S sets or whatnot to neck size the brass. If anyone's interested in the sizing of everything, I can certainly provide that information. What I did is I chose a neck bushing that was the right size to get the outside diameter where I wanted it. Then I neck reamed the inside of the case, and then I size with a smaller bushing die to get the bullet tension that I want. I'm running about 2/1000ths or so of tension, so I can, from here on out, now that it's reamed and I've got a consistent case neck thickness of around 11/1000ths, I can just run a bushing that's appropriate for the bullet pull that I want to have. All right, like I said, it's going to be a slow-paced video, so if you're into fast action, this one may not be for you. Go for shot number 2. See what we come up with. So far, no mark. I don't know if we woke him up or not. Yep, that appears to be a decent setup. That one was a little bit slower at 1863 by the chronograph. A little bit of soot around the neck. Those could probably be a bit warmer. Primer is very round. Nothing at all to be concerned about there. We did pick that up 1863, and it's up in the same area, a little further to the left. And those two shots are probably about 3 inches apart, so that isn't so great. That particular load, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 of them. With the way that's shooting, I'm not sure that I should even waste my time on that group, or if I should move to something else. Let's go ahead and do another and make it at least a 3-shot group and see if there's some semblance of a pattern there. Trying to seat the pistol back in the reasonably similar spot each time to try to be as consistent as I can. Say I'm just learning with these contenders, so it's there's a lot to learn yet. Okay, I like that setup. The way the hold looked, I was in the black pretty good and steady towards the, I was in the middle 1/3 of the black with the hold, maybe a tiny bit low when the shot broke. I'm seeing the target well enough, but it is quite small, so it's just going to take a lot of discipline. That came back up to 1914 on the velocity again, and that one came up a little higher, and I actually shot through the wood cross piece on the top of my target stand. There was already a 45 caliber hole up there. Now there's a 30 caliber hole with it. So it might make sense to dial a little bit of down into this scope. It'd be interesting to see how much different it is with other loads. Say I have 3 of those left. To get a coin and see if I can come down on this point of impact on the scope a little bit. Because the higher ballistic coefficient bullets should probably fly even higher. So I'll go ahead and dial a little bit of down into that scope. The loopholed M8 scopes are rather coarse on the adjustment. They're like half of MOA on the click, and they don't have a click, they just have the little lines, so you just have to kind of go that way. So I'll bring it down a good bit. Let's go, that's 1 mark. Let's go down 2 marks. And that should get me down closer. Let's maybe go ahead and put just a little bit of right into it as well to try to avoid shooting up my target stand any more than I have to. So we'll bring that back just a little bit to the right. And this one's a little bit spongy in the windage adjustment too. I'm going to go past and then come back. We'll go right about there, see what happens. I'll put the caps back on like I'm confident that that's exactly the right adjustment. We all know how that goes. Alright, so I dialed in some down and some right. Let's go ahead and try another. See what the change got us. Okay, I like the sight picture. Let's see how we do. I liked the hold. I got 1901 on the velocity, and it looks like I may have come too far to the right on the adjustment, which I was a little bit afraid of because that windage adjustment on this is quite spongy. So I am going to bring that back to the left just a little bit. And it looks like I got just about enough down in it, but I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more in there just to see what happens. Okay, let's shoot one there. Mark hasn't come out yet. Maybe he really isn't home. I talked to him on the telephone just a little while ago. It's possible that he stepped out for a little let's see how we do. Okay, so that one's, even though I came down a little bit, I think I went the right way. I know which way I turned it. Let's see if the arrows point that way. Yep, I dialed a little down in it, but you know, it could be a little bit of my hold. It could be a little bit of the way these bullets are flying. It's back in line with windage, so I like that. One more of this load. And the velocity there was 1883. So I don't know if it's the sunlight that's changing that, or if it's actually that variable. Spread of about 51 right now on those 5 shots. But you know, the chronograph isn't in the bright light. Could be a little bit inconsistent lighting. Could also be that it moves around that much. So let's put this last one on and see what we get. Yep, I like that. Okay. $19.01 on that velocity, and that one's up high and a little bit more to the right. So that that load didn't really do anything for me. So let's take a minute to kind of reset things here. I'm gonna stop this chronograph group, save that group, set up for the next group so I don't forget. And I'll even start it because I always forget to hit start. I'm going to stop the target camera for a minute, and we can think about moving on to the next load. The next load is Hornady 150 grain soft point, and that's with 23 grains of IMR 4198. So that might fly a little higher with the lower ballistic coefficient. The speed is going to be down a bit. This is spread those out on that target enough that I'm not real worried about it. I can shoot at the same target and can go from there and see where it hits. Debating whether I should dial a little bit more down into that just in case, so that I can try to keep it on the paper, and I think I will. I've shot this a little bit at this distance, but not a lot. And like I said, I'm relatively new to these contenders. I've shot some 30-30, and I've shot some from this Herrett. My dad's got several barrels. I've got a few more barrels to play with, but kind of just beginning with all of this. All right, so I put a little bit of down in there, and then those 150s. I'm not quite sure where they're going to fly, but we'll try it and see what happens. Okay, so I took a couple minutes and had a drink of coffee and relaxed for a minute. I've got the next roundup, which is going to be the 150 grain soft point Hornady with 23 grains of IMR 4198. We'll hope that that group's a little bit better than that 125 PSP did. I was not impressed with that at all. I hope it wasn't just me. Could be. It could be just me. You know, you add parallax on a pistol scope, trying to hold the pistol, glasses, a little bit fidgety. It doesn't take much to pull this an inch or two one way or the other at 125, 150 yards. So we'll try this 150 grain Hornady and see how this goes. And I'll go ahead and hit record on the target camera. And I've got 10 of these. I don't know if I'll shoot all 10 or just 5. And I already hit start on the chronograph group. And I'm really happy that the chronograph is doing its thing, because in that last video, the train wreck video, the chronograph didn't want to work. But it seems to be doing fine today. I've got the app running on the iPhone this time, and the target camera is running on my Android. And so far, the technology is behaving itself. Okay, I think I can make that hold work. That definitely had a sharper recoil impulse to it. The sound was a little bit different too. 1,787 on that velocity, so it is down a little bit. And I'm not 100% sure where the shot went. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe you guys saw it. I'm not real sure where that went. Well, I think the only answer to that is to do another one, because I didn't memorize the view good enough beforehand. But yeah, that looks fine. Still a little bit of soot around the case neck, but other than that, it's the primer's very round. Case looks good. 1787. Boy, it's a nice day today. It's a little cooler than I expected. We actually had freezing temperatures last night. It's early in May, but still pretty blue sky today. Puffy clouds, probably the mid to high 50s right now. I think about the chronograph doesn't say right now, but okay, let's try another. Okay, I can live with that sight picture. So, everything right now is high. I didn't see the impact on that last shot, so I don't know exactly which one it was. I'm going to try to get a little bit of a... This does mark shots, but like I said, I don't think any of those features work when you're recording with it. So, I'm trying to use this for, recording the target for the YouTube video, rather than using the features of the target camera. Okay, well, we'll try to see where this one is. If not, I'll find out where they are when I review the footage. Okay, I see that one. That one's just outside the black at about, oh, I don't know, 2 o'clock or so. Okay, so maybe that one that's just a little bit above the black at about 11:30 was the other shot from this group. And I can feel that those are a little bit higher pressure. Took a little bit more on the action to get it open. Let's see how it closes on the fired case. Still didn't move too much. But like I said, it's still nice and round on the primer. Say, it's still got a little bit of soot around the neck, so looks to me like there's a lot more room to go. That one was 1859, but it's a nice looking cartridge. Okay, let's see what shot number 3 does. Well, it's a lot harder hold than with a rifle, that's for sure. You can tell when the sun goes behind a cloud too. Felt like I was just a smidgen right on that hold, but the shot is pretty good as far as score wise. That one's looks like in the 9 ring at around I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock. So as far as shot placement, it's not bad. The hold wasn't, that's not what I called the hold. I called the hold a little further right than that. And our velocity was 1820. So the first shot was a fair amount slower. Like I said, chronographs are a funny thing. You know, we like to put a lot of credence in the numbers when they give us low spreads and low deviations, and we tend to doubt them when they have large spreads and large deviations. I imagine the truth is somewhere in between. I think they're pretty fussy with lighting, and as the clouds block the sunlight, I'm sure the readings change somewhat. The bore's nice and clean. I don't see any powder or anything in the bore. Okay, let's try for shot number 4. See what we can do. I'd like to get another one in the black. Now there's with the sun in and out of the clouds and the cool air, there's some thermal activity. I've got some birds gliding around and riding the thermals. It's kind of fun to watch them. Maybe I should have went to the model airplane flying field with the sailplane today to catch some of the lift. There's one over here. He's circling and he's caught some lift. It's going up. But that's a good day to be outside and get some fresh air. Things are moving just a little bit here, or else I'm moving a little bit. It's hard to be consistent. Okay, I can make that work, I think. Now just looking at the hold without, I'm not looking at the target camera yet, I was well established in the black. I was maybe one width of the reticle low and one width of the reticle to the left is my perception of where I was holding. I don't know if that's reality or not. It's just a perception. You add up the scope, you add up the glasses and the lighting, you know, but that's what it looked like. It looked like I wasn't quite in the center of the black. I was just a tiny bit left and a tiny bit low. It looks like I've got a shot way over on the right edge of the paper. That I was, you know, unless I severely moved after I, you know, while I was pulling the trigger, it's hard for me to believe that that's where that shot went. I felt pretty good about the call, but that's not at all where I was holding. Where I felt my hold was much closer to where the previous shot impacted. So what I could do is I could just move the target camera footage a bit, and then it would look like the one that I called there actually landed there, and it'd make me look like I was really, really good. But in reality, where the bullet impacted was nothing at all like what I thought the hold was. So either it flew poorly or I called poorly, one or the other. We did get 1806 on the velocity, so that puts our spread at 72. It's not spectacular. 4198 might be a little slow for that bullet. Okay, well, let's see what we can do with number 5. We've got an airplane flying over. Looks like a diamond. Long, skinny wing. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Shot number 5 with the 150 soft point and 23 grains of IMR 4198. Velocity was down again on that, but I am in the shade again. 1753. I felt like the hold was pretty good. I think the shot might be that one that's low and right. But yeah, I'm not real impressed with what I'm seeing with this right now. Okay, well, let's go ahead and stop that group. That's 5. Save the group. Let's change the name of the group to group number 3. And let's go ahead and start it so I don't forget to start it when it's time. If I go by the load card... Oh, spider, get out of here. Uh-oh. How's that work? If you smash a spider, it rains? I don't think so. Alright, let's go ahead and stop the target camera as well. If I go by the load card, the next one would be the same bullet. No, it wouldn't be. The next bullet will be the 150 Hornady Full Metal Jacket, the number 3037, with 23 grains of IMR 4198. So you go from the... This is the soft point bullet that we just shot. We'll go to the Full Metal Jacket. Or I can go with, I also have the same powder charge with a, actually it's, yeah, same powder charge with the 150 round nose. And then I also have a higher powder charge with the 110 soft point. So, well, a little bit tough with the spray-o-matic pattern I got going down there. Maybe I should think about changing out the target. But I'm not real worried about it until we see something that starts to group a little bit. Why don't I go ahead and see what happens with a Full Metal Jacket bullet and check that out. Maybe what I'll do is walk down and tape up the holes so that I can tell where things are going, and or put a fresh face up or something, but let's move on. Okay, here we go. I patched up the target. I put a different one over the top to try to get a little bit better picture. Yep, there we go. Got it in the target thing. You know, for size perspective, that's the same pizza box size that I always shoot at, and you know, those little pasters are, I believe, about 1 inch in diameter. So you can see that center there is probably about 4 inches. I didn't measure it, but we'll move on. And like I said a minute ago, let's try the load number 3, which will be the 150 grain Hornady Full Metal Jacket boat tail, the number 3037. And this is again with 23 grains of IMR 4198. These are all charges that are from the Hornady book, back when they still published 30 Herrett data. Now they don't have it in the book or in the app, they have it in their online, in their obsolete data or whatever they call it. I did start a new chrono group number 3. Sun is behind the trees a little bit here where I'm sitting. It's starting to get a little bit lower temperature, so I hope I don't start shivering. Well, hopefully this Full Metal Jacket bullet will print a little bit better. Not real impressed with what I'm seeing so far. That white background of this target I'm shooting at right now, you know, the smaller piece of paper that's stapled over the top of the bigger one, that's roughly a half sheet of paper. So, you know, it's, I see that I forgot to patch up the one hole on the right side, right in the middle, up and down on the edge of the kind of tan target, but I mean, they're not terrible groups, but they're not spectacular either. I'd like to see that better. I've shot some better groups with this barrel. At 100 yards, I shot a 5-shot group that was a couple of inches, and I think that it's probably more me than the firearm. We'll find something that works. It's just going to take some time. Of course, my load cards are all blowing out of this lid here. The way I'm doing this is probably not real stable, so I'm going to slip these inside my little book here. All right, let's move on to that 150 grain Hornady Full Metal Jacket boat tail. Yeah, let's see, everything's ready, and I'm recording on the target camera, so I think it's all set. Let's try to get a good sight picture here. Yeah, that's a little easier to pick up. Yeah, okay. Let's see what happens. Felt pretty good, and that one is at 3 o'clock, right on the edge of the small sheet of paper. A little bit cleaner. We're starting to get up there where it's shooting a little cleaner, but still nice round corners on the primer. $17.94 on that velocity. Any bets that the next one will be 1820? 1820-ish. Wish the target had more sun on it. I like the elevation on the hold. My first instinct is I was just a smidgen to the left of the center of the bullseye. And elevation-wise, we're right on track with the first shot, and I thought my hold was a little bit further left, and indeed it was. So that one looks like it flew about how I would expect it. Reference the first one. I felt that the hold on the first one was pretty good. Gee, I like that. I'm a lot cleaner on the case neck. 1828. I missed it by 8. See if we can put this one right between the first two. I'll go for the center of the black hold and hope it lands right between the first two. That would make me happy. Okay, let's hope we can get it in there. I like the hold. It looked like it was right on the money. 1916. That was a lot faster. I don't know if those are accurate reads or not. The report didn't really feel any different. Case doesn't look any different. I don't know if that's the chrono moving or if it's actually that much different. And it looks to me like I did not shoot between the first two. I shot to the right of the first two. So I'm shooting a little bit to the right there. But the elevation's real consistent in comparison to the other things. Let's do another, see what that velocity does. That one really jumped up. Say, I don't know if that's just the changing light on the chronograph in the evening or if it was really 100 foot per second faster. That's an awful lot. So we've got 122 on the spread. That's kind of hard to believe, but I've seen it before. But it could be the light on the chrono. It could be that there's stack up of a few variables. The other thing I've noticed is even though I've got more adjustability with this MTM rest, I many times shoot this just out of a stuffed Caldwell bag. I might try shooting a group that way because you see every little movement on this. You know, you've got these 2 pivot points. I'm wondering if I shoot better out of that that blocky shaped bag better. But it's more challenging than a rifle, that's for sure. $18.06, that's back down where it ought to be. And let's see, my target camera's moving a little bit. I think that one is just above the second shot. So those 4 are certainly a lot closer together than any of the others that we were shooting. This is starting to behave more like the ammo's working and it's my hold that's moving. Yep, that all looks fine. So the bore looks real good. It is a good looking cartridge. I really like it. You know, I could shoot this at 25 yards or 50 yards where it looks great even when I mess up. You start getting out to these distances, and if I move a little bit or do this a little bit, it makes a difference. You gotta be consistent, and I haven't quite mastered it yet. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Let's put this one over there in that same area. 1832 on the velocity. And the shot is over there kind of by shot number 3, I think. So all in all, that's probably about, that's a stick of tape measure on it, but that's probably a 5-inch group maybe. That's not horrible for 100 and, you know, I say 125, 130 yards maybe. Maybe, you know. Amazon man just pulled up delivering something for Mark. Hope we didn't scare him too bad. Hello, Amazon man.
How's it going?
Say hello to YouTube.
Hey, YouTube.
I got a hey YouTube out of the Amazon man. So Mark ordered something and it got delivered. Must be that Mark stepped out. I thought he was in there, but that's pretty good stuff. So that wraps up 5 of those Full Metal jackets. I think we should move on to that round nose bullet. I'm curious what it'll do. I went down range and I pasted up the last few shots from that 150 boat tail hollow point. Now we'll move on to the 150 round nose. It's still 23 grains of IMR 4198. I don't know if the light's going to work for the chronograph. We'll try it. Mark did wake up from his nap. It took 5, 10, took 16 shots to wake Mark up from his nap, and a visit from the Amazon man.
That chronograph would not be safe sitting there with me shooting.
Say that again?
That chronograph would not be safe sitting there with me shooting.
In a rest it probably would be.
Last round I hit my chronograph.
I guess it's better to have an Amazon man come to your house than an Amazon woman.
True. True that.
Okay, let's see how these 150 round noses do. They don't look as nice as the pointy ones, but maybe they'll fly better. Any bets on velocity, Mark?
Is it a flat base?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is a flat base.
It might fly better. I don't know, speed-wise.
Yep. There's been a trend where the first shot has been 1780, 1790, and then the second shot is in the low 1800s. See the 1832, that's pretty typical. Now that the sun is going down, who knows what kind of reading we'll get, but I do have the target camera recording. I do have the chronograph going. That camera's going, so we're all set. Let's see how we do. Everybody say thank you to Mark Johnson for allowing me to shoot at his house. Okay, that looks pretty good, Mark. Here we go. $17.90.
Not bad.
And that's a little bit low and right. It's I made some scope adjustments, and everything that seems to be flying good is flying a little bit to the right. The windage adjustment on this scope is a little spongy, but we'll keep running with it. That looks fine. Still got smoke coming out of it. Okay, shot number 2. Mark, I'm trying to get the handgun back in the same position each time. I'm trying to be as consistent as I can. I don't know if I'm achieving it, but I'm trying.
Gotcha. Well, see about
I'm trying to be flush with the back here.
Do some stills off your video and see it.
Yeah, you're about the same point of view as the camera. Tell you what, a 4-power scope on a handgun on a circle this big is not easy. Yeah. But hey, we're that last group, after I walked down there, it was probably between 3 and 4 inches. It was better than I thought it was. What I need to do is to tape like a legend on there that shows real distance, so you can tell on the camera how big the group really is.
True.
Grip doesn't feel good. Let's readdress it. 1767, and it's up and right. That flew further to the right and further up than the first one. That's right over on the edge of the manila paper on the bottom corner of one of the shot markers. So I don't know if that was me or if that was the cartridge. Thing looks good. But so far that 150 FMJ is winning. 1767. I did have a hard time getting settled in that time. It could have very well been me. This time I'm not going to futz around in as much. I'm going to go right at it. $18.09, and that one came back to the left a little bit, but it went down a little bit. Shot number 4. $17.88, and it's almost in the 10 ring. It's like the top of the 10 ring. Another plane, Mark.
Yeah, where is he?
Okay, shot number 5 of the 150 round nose coming up. Let's get another one up there in the X ring. Hold felt okay. That one is 10, 9, 8. Just breaking, I think, the 8 ring at about 4 o'clock. So in the black, decent shot. So other than the one that I dumped way out to the right, I don't know if I pulled that out there or if it was something goofy, but so far the 150 FMJ has shot the best.
Cool.
So what do I do next? Do I shoot more of this 30 Herrett or move on to something different?
Are they all the same? Is that all the same load? 3 different bullets?
The ones that are 4198 are 23 grains, except for I do have 5 here on the end that is a lighter bullet, a 110 grain bullet, and that's up to 26 grains.
Gotcha.
So that's a little bit different setup.
Gotta be zinging.
Yeah, that'll be a little flatter. So could certainly shoot some of those, but I've done 5 of all the others, and say the best group was that 150 boat tail. I would like to try, and I don't know if I'll do it right now, but I think I shoot this better off of the bag than I do the rest. I think the hard rest, I think you get to doing this a little bit, pivoting. Gotcha. So, that would be something to think about. I could, this video is going to be long already, Mark. It's probably
145 yards.
Is that how far it is?
Well, it's 150 from the corner of the deck. Okay. So you're over 145.
Over 145 yards. Okay, because I was thinking 125, 130, so I was off a bit. So we're actually somewhere around 140, 145 yards according to Mark, and it's his Mosquito ranch, so we'll believe him. Okay, well, trying to decide if I want to do more 30 Herrett or wrap this up for now. What do you think, Mark?
Well, I saw the little short, the little bullets. I want to see that go.
You want to see the little bullet go?
High speed, yep.
Okay, I think what I will do is maybe, should we patch up the target or just go ahead and shoot them?
Can you tell the difference? Well, your shot camera, you can tell where they're hitting, right?
Say that again?
You can tell the difference with your shot camera, right?
Yeah, I've only got 2 in the black right now and 1 in down to the right. You could run the shot camera if you want. And then you can see the hits. All right, here, I'll bring you the shot camera. Stay put, I'll bring you the shot camera.
Okay.
So Mark will be the spotter. There you go. Can you see the ones we've already got there?
Yep.
And I think you can zoom in. Okay, now it's still recording, so that's good. All right.
Okay. So you got 3 on there.
Mark's running the shot camera. Yay. So let's go on to stop, save the group, group 5. And this will be the last 30 Herrett group of the day. Start. Okay. So what we have now, Mark, let me get this load card out so we can say it correctly. This is the Sierra 110 grain Spire Point. Are you inspired by the Spire Point?
No. Nope.
Mark's not inspired by the Spire Point.
I shot those on
And,
my 30-30. It seemed to like them.
The overall length is 2.14 inches if you don't mash the lead. If you mash the lead, it could be probably 2.13. 26 grains of IMR 4198. Pointy little sucker, isn't it? Little wedge.
Definitely. It's
okay.
Weird profile.
Any bets on the velocity?
You said hot, so let's see.
Okay. So, group camera is started. Mark's got the target camera. I'm starting to get cold.
Yeah.
So, it's a noisy bird.
Yeah, they are.
What kind of bird is it?
It's ravens or crows.
Huh. Okay, here we go. We show 2189 on the velocity.
Yeah, you're just off the paper of the bottom left corner.
Is that right? Went way over there.
About inch low, inch right of the paper. Inch low, inch left of the paper.
Yuck. That's not good, is it?
It says 25 right and 31 up.
Yow. My hold wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's shooting that much flatter.
And that much further left. Well, let's see where this one goes.
High and to the right. So that was outside of the outside ring, about an inch.
So that's a good 13 inches away.
Is this your target?
That's the little target that's over the top of the manila one. Yeah, that pistol target,
yeah.
The next one down is the manila paper.
Okay.
Yuck. So that's spraying that all over the place.
You're here. So you got here.
Uh-huh.
And here.
Wow. Okay, so that's a good 6-7 inches apart.
Yep.
My goodness.
10.
I am not impressed. 2153 on that velocity. And I did move the rest. Must be I got jumpy or something. Okay, here we go.
Say about 1 o'clock, just inside the 5 ring.
Okay. 2142. So the velocities have settled down a little bit there. I think I need more practice, Mark. I don't know how much of that's me and how much of it's the load.
Well, that's got to be the load. Let's go. Yeah. You're about 6 inches right and 1 inch high.
Wow.
You're over here.
Well, I think this load is not the right one to shoot. We should probably go back to that 150 FMJ and see if I can shoot another group with it. I don't know.
Did your scope come loose?
I don't think so. $21.19.
It didn't pick that up, but there's one off on the left side, like up here, pretty high.
Okay, could be that one. Wow, it really sprayed those around, eh?
Yeah, unless.
Well, gee.
Unless it was a 8-9 ring.
Now that is a little bit dirty, Mark, because I didn't have any powder at all in the barrel before that load, and now I'm starting to get some leftovers here, so that's not burning all of that.
Huh. Not enough weight to hold it in there to give it enough time to burn, I guess.
Something like that. Well, I think we'll wrap up the 30 Herrett for today. Move on to something else. So far, the most promise is with this 150 full metal jacket boat tail. I'll save the 5 of those 3 rounds for another day. Try it again and see what happens.
Compare them against something else.
I think that's about all for now. Thanks everybody for watching. Yeah, that 110 sucked.